TONEYBOI, part of Art Dealer, came up with Cooley High. This is my brother GAINE. Did a lot of stuff for the Buffalo community, underground hip hop, and upstate.
I'm GAINE. Came from the same group, Cooley High. I've been working with TONEYBOI since 2005, recording music, teaching others how to record music, get their sound together, and things like that for years. So we just been pumping music for years. Quietly under the radar. So
yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit before the conversation started here, but the sound that you guys are coming up with in that kind of upstate New York type vibe, people like Griselda, Trust, DeCloth, etc. You guys kind of fit that umbrella sonically, I think, very, very well. I wanted to ask about how you guys, I guess, originated and your origin story for the people listening at home. How did you guys kind of get into hip hop and start kind of producing the same sort of sound that's resonating, I think, with a lot of underground heads over the last few years?
Man, so like you said, we started recording in 05.
Oh wow.
So I would say some of the first records we did back then, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a transition era. So there was a lot of Gucci Man, Soulja Boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the radio popular sound was. But
Sure.
we did a bunch of Wu-Tang beats, a bunch of Nas beats. You know what I mean? That's when you jacket for beats. And we did a bunch of that. We did a little bit of everything. But like G, he's more cultivated rapper than I am. Like, he's been recorded since before 05 or whatever. But like, we've always had like a hip hop background. But we're rappers, man. We can rap on anything.
You guys were coming up together then as early as 2005, not even on a separate tip.
Yeah, we was coming up we went to the same school, so like it was all in the same. Right after school, it was like, okay, go hit his house. He had to set up at the crib. We pumped 2-3 tracks out. You know what I mean? Maybe like 6 songs a week, just like in general. And every time we could sit down and knock shit out. But we've been recording, just pumping tracks out. And then we started making mixtapes, like I said, off of the, industry beats. We're like, I like this song. Whatever's hot, we're gonna make a song. So, we had the ability to record, and we really took full advantage of that. So
if you guys started then early 2000s, kind of mid 2000s, what took so long in order to start putting out projects?
Well, no, it's not what took so long. We didn't know how to push it. You know what I mean? So
sure.
we were doing that piff and trunk trapping, $5 CDs, burning CDs right in the basement.
Still sell CDs.
Right.
I still sell hard copies because I feel like that's just part of it. That was a craft that kind of went away with the streaming sites, but a lot of people understand, like, it's still it's a different level of like value that's placed on your music or placed on the materials you're creating, because when you give a physical copy to somebody, it's like that's something they have forever. So I got so many mixtapes from high school that I passed out to my friends, sold to my friends, that they'll come up to me and show me an old mixtape I had. I'm like, wow, you still have this? You know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of a way of keeping, record of like everything we ever did. You know what I'm saying? So it just started from mixtapes to like, all right, we stopped doing the mixtapes and industry things. We started doing original beats, started recording on beats that, guys that we actually knew produced. And it was like, okay, now we got original music. Now I could sell this. Now I could market this. So, it took time to understand that, you're not going to make it off of a mixtape. You know what I'm saying? You're going to make it off of your real original music. So
sure. Yeah, I think the physical media aspect of all this is really important, especially with the sound that you guys are coming out with. And it's changed drastically over the years, right? Like in the late, kind of throughout the 90s, let's say, the cassette tape, I think, was fairly dominant in these conversations, right? Like if you were an indie artist, especially an indie rap artist, you just didn't have the money to press vinyl. CDs were too expensive as well. So you were pressing these cassettes, kind of duplicating them yourself, just buying a box of blank tapes, doing covers yourself. Yeah. Then going to Kinko's to photocopy your covers, do everything yourself, and then sell the shit, hustle them hand to hand, right? And that was really important. That was kind of that vouched for the legitimacy and the authenticity of the craft in a lot of ways, that kind of DIY aesthetic. And I think that was lost for a long period of time. But I think over the last, say, 5 or 6 years or so, really with what Griselda and this type of movement is doing, I think they brought that back in a lot of ways. And this time it's almost the complete opposite, right? It's kind of done a 180. It's no longer looking for that kind of gruff and rugged aesthetic. It's looking for that fresh, that polished, attention to detail, right? With the OBI strips on the vinyl, the color variants, test pressings for the real heads. But people are interested in physical media again, especially with the sound that you guys are coming out with.
100%. It's all now. It's all considered art. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, your artwork has become more. And sometimes the artwork is somewhat more important than the actual music some people are putting out.
Yeah.
So if you got great music and shit artwork, it's like, oh well, you know, nobody really gonna tap it in. It's like, oh, what's this cover about? But at the end of the day, you know, it's just understanding that you know, the package you have to create. You know what I mean? It has to be you got to give them the music, okay, and then the art that surrounds it, and then your merch, and then, you know, you get deeper into the things you create and around the project, and then all of a sudden it turns into a big ass art gallery of whatever you created. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So
it's kind of like the same concept like with record diggers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of diggers, they'll go to covers and read the back, not really knowing who's really on it, but they're looking for maybe one player, one instrumentalist, or, you know, musician, should I say, that's on there and the cover's fire. They're just gonna buy it. They might have never heard of the lead artist.
Yep, that's attracting. I mean, that's what attracts them, the art, man. But it wasn't important before. It seemed like it was just like we focused on the music so hard. It was okay, our music is tight. We need everything else, you know. That's weird.
Yeah. You mentioned that you're still kind of hustling CDs and you're still selling CDs when you can. I was checking out the project that you have out on Bandcamp, Native Songs Gains, and it's a dope project. But yeah, released on CD. I was wondering, not only for that project, but also for this Project 77 that you guys are coming with now, are we getting vinyl issues of those albums at any time?
There will be press for it later. Right now, we're just kind of focusing on getting it out, and you know, I think we might do a plan where we, you know, backtrack and, you know, print all of those out. And if you know, you catch us at local shows or anything, you know, any events that we're throwing, pop-ups, and that'll be some music that they'll be available to the people for sure.
So tell me about this new project, the Project 77. How did this end up coming together? Because I like the sound that you guys coming with. I like the production that you have for this project. People like Camouflage Monk, for example, I'm a big fan of. How did this project come together, and what does it mean for you guys?
Lie or tell the truth?
Always the truth. Always the truth.
A little bit of everything with this one. Me and TONEYBOI ain't do a project in so long, like a full, complete, you know, since we were Cool High. And we did this series called Marriage Chronicles, and it was like, it started off as a mixtape, and then we did 4 installments of it over like the period of 4 or 5 years. But it started off like mixtapes, you know, like you said, rapping over Nas beats, rapping over anything that was hip hop, anything that we felt was, you know, the real hip hop heads would catch on to, and like, oh, these guys spitting. They not Wu-Tang, but they spit. You know what I mean? Spitting to this. So, and then it transitioned to like, okay, we got some original beats, we got some original sounds. Now we really, you know, got people picking out samples and you know, got people making beats and things like that. So that was like, and that was about 6-7 years ago, right, Tom? That was the last project we dropped, like, full project we dropped together, had a, you know, an event for it and everything. And, you know, TONEYBOI went to school and with sound engineering in 2015. And that's when I was able to kind of branch off and get with, you know, form the Ooze Gang conglomerate with our other brothers that rapped with us for Cooley High. So, you know, it's just, for us, it's just like a revisitation. You know what I mean? We revisiting what we was doing originally, you know. So
it's definitely a pickup. But it started off, honestly, before like 77, 88, 99 became a thing. We was just about to just put some tracks together. And like, yo, let's just put them out online. for the fuck of it. You know what I mean? Like, because we did it in a while, people would like to hear it. And then as we I think we got to 3 or 4, we're like, yo, this is pretty solid. You might as well finish it up and do something with it. And that's how 77.
That's it.
The production tip is interesting, though. We were mentioning before, Tony, that you ended up having a project earlier this year that was fully produced by yourself, and you weren't rapping on it. The direction to go and hire other producers outside of, a part of your camp, but outside of yourselves, to lace the production on this joint. What was that decision like instead of just producing it yourself?
Oh man, that was easy. So Camo Monk is like a brother of mine. We're like real good friend. Then we had Troop the producer. I spent a lot of time with him when I was going back and forth to Rochester, just kind of like, expand the brand from Buffalo to, upstate cities. So me and him got real tight. Who was Lamont J Music is one of my interns. So I do live sound for a living. And he's a crazy pianist. He came through, played some stuff. We laced the beat together. Who else do we have on there? Honors A. Jordan. He's from Chicago. He did a lot of work with A-Son Eastwood and Daniel's son. He got a couple beats on my project, Ugly Luxury. And who else do we have on there? Chill Ali, local cat. Fire Cat, probably one of my favorite Buffalo MCs, producers.
Quiet. I just called him a monk. I said, yo, he's a hood. like just respect, highly respected, quiet. Not in the sense like just not speaking quiet, but like quiet. And he carried himself well, man. I was just saying that like 45 minutes ago about this guy. A great producer. It's a bunch of guys out here that's like that though. Everybody that we usually work with, we know, even if we don't know them personally, we have some sort of relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? And we did that for a long time where it's like, okay, I linked with this guy, did a whole project, this guy, whole project. And then it just started mixing up, It's like, okay, well, I got one from him. I got one from him. And we know all of these people. So it's just been like, let's put together something so that what they're doing shines too. Because a lot of times it ain't all about us, It's really about putting our best foot forward, but also bringing, bringing the talent that's around us, into play. So yes.
I wanted to ask about the Buffalo thing because I always find that really interesting. Like, I'm really up on the sound that you guys are coming with, and a lot of the people from Buffalo are coming with, but really for a long time, you didn't really see a whole lot of cats coming out of Buffalo. But over the last 5 or so years, everything's kind of changed in that. You guys have been making music since like kind of the mid-2000s, early 2000s. How has it been like for you over the last 5 or so years, just seeing kind of the change in Buffalo? Have you really seen that on a ground level, being an MC in the city?
100%. I see the energy. I seen the energy of everybody change. Like everybody, last 5 years, it was kind of overwhelming because it's like I done did this shit so long. We done did it so long. It's like I didn't get as excited about it as everyone else did. It's like, are they finally paying attention to us? All right, well, let me just keep doing what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? But with the last 5 years, it definitely turned around. It definitely opened up for other artists to be like able to, display their shit, get their shit off, get known in the world easier than it was ever. You know what I'm saying? We went from nobodies. Absolutely. We went from like kind of nobodies and, just like doing music. Nobody know about us. Only our close friends, only, if you know type deal.
Sure.
And then, once it opened up, I started seeing things happen for, artists that just started making music 5 years ago, say 6 years ago. And it's like, oh, wow, he's doing well. This person's doing well. So it just was like, wow, shit, I'm not wait my turn, but work towards it. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I looked at it. But the excitement level and energy.
From a different light, because when it first started, I wasn't in Buffalo. I was in Florida. So I came home for the reason of me from outside looking in. I'm like, yo, Buffalo is crazy right now. I'm down here in Florida looking stupid. I need to
place to be.
Yeah. Like all my homies is doing something crazy. I need to get home. I had got offered a job to work for Amazon in Seattle, fresh out of school, and I declined it to come home. and it's worked out.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were mentioning GAINE's, a lot of the kind of new artists coming out of Buffalo over the last 5 years. I was going to ask about that and how much of that is the case rather than a bunch of cats that you've kind of seen over the last 10, 15, 20 years in Buffalo making noise kind of locally within the city that just haven't really had the opportunity to blow up yet. But we've started seeing that. How much of the kind of local scene that you start seeing kind of coming up now and starting to get recognition have been around for decades?
Well, honestly, it's a new generation. You know what I mean? We started rapping when we was 15, 30 now. You know what I'm saying? So when I started recording music and putting stuff out when, 15, 16. So
sure,
it's a whole generation of, you know what I mean? These kids, when we started rapping, these kids were 5, 6, 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like they seen us do our thing. They as they grew up in their teenage and understood, like, oh, these guys are the guys that do music. But we made it. I really feel like we kind of helped pave the way too. Griselda definitely paved the way for bigger things. Especially like I said in the last 5 years. But prior to Griselda, we kind of stood in that light of paving the lane and open those gates of like, yo, Buffalo bars wasn't booking hip hop spots in 2009, 2010. They wasn't accepting hip hop acts, you know what I'm saying? And the way we came was like, yo, we trying to do a show. We have our people. We played around with the dickheads. We played around with the people that really supported us. So it's like, after a while, it's like, we really started a lot of, what's going on. The younger artists having the confidence to go out and set up their own events and set up their own shows and put their own music out on their own terms. So it was really a sense of independence that we carried and, stood strong with, we signed to one label. Me and TONEYBOI signed to a label like 13. I didn't want to mention this, but fuck it. But we signed to this label. They went out of business within 8 months of us signing to them. So it was kind of like, all right. They didn't have this shit together. And that experience actually really helped us spin off. It's like, yo, all the shit that they were trying to do for us, we could do for ourselves, Studio time, I can get my own studio time. Shoot a video, I got a own videographer. Anything a label can provide to an artist. I did this so long that I know I could pull the string to get it done for myself, or we can get it done for ourselves. So, that's just the independent approach, and laying that out. That was the groundwork that
and I would say the way that we came into the game too, everything was still kind of prehistoric. You know what I mean? Like when I say that, like everything was strictly boom bap, at least the scene that we walked into.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. We came and kind of threw a little pepper in there. It came with some 808s and like a different sound, but we were still rapping. It's like we didn't try to like mumble rap over it. We were still rapping. So we was making party songs.
Yeah.
You said Griselda was paving the way for larger things to follow on a kind of a local level, grassroots wise. Things like venues kind of turning their back to hip hop acts for a long time. Have you noticed that change over the last handful of years?
100%. That's the problem here. We when we came in the game, there was probably 10, 15 venues we used to perform at G.
Yeah, and I'm not even 10. I wouldn't even say 10. I'd say 6 or 7, because there were spots, but it was like if they let you, if they feel you, if you talk to the owner and he's like, okay, but if they wasn't, not just anybody that rap could just go to a spot and just book a show. They wasn't fucking with people. Like we had kind of that green card where we was able to build our name in those places that did let us perform. Yeah. And then it opened it up where, okay, some people that we were affiliated could do the same, do the same things. And then they started to see, oh, you guys really actually have a scene. You have a following. Every show we booked, we had at least 50, 60 people show up, and it's like, okay, well, that's a solid, solid night, especially for a low key spot, so.
Right. And also like for you to understand like how powerful what we did, we used to come to every show like Wu-Tang, 30 deep.
Deep.
So, and probably out of the 30, maybe 7, 8 were performing. So
50, 60 people show up, and then
so already
30
before
is
the show
us.
starts, half the building is packed, and we got 50 more people coming. And then, then you got the locals.
So he's able to bring business to those places, and that's really what opened it up. You know, it's like we guaranteeing a crowd. You know, we guaranteeing a good crowd, not not a whole bunch of teens. We was at, we kept, even though we was in our early 20s when we started performing, we still was able to tap into an older crowd, people in their 30s, and then and had the people our age. You know, so it was a kind of snowball effect of it all.
And we got people's parents coming out to see us.
That's what I'm saying. It's like we touched, we had the what do you call it? We had all the whole age bracket. That's what I'm saying. 18 to 52. And they all partying together, you know what I'm saying, or all enjoying the music and enjoying the events together. So once we've seen that, we do that, power in itself,
I can't speak for everyone kind of outside of that local community, but at least myself, kind of as an outsider looking in, I always kind of thought that those in Buffalo had the opportunity because they're in New York, right? You see the New York tag and you associate that so heavily with hip hop. Just take a trip down to the city and you have everything, right? Like myself, I'm in Nova Scotia. I'm so far removed from that conversation. But in Buffalo, yeah, you're a little bit removed from kind of the inner city, the New York City. But at the same time, you have that New York kind of identity. And that's something that should be able to open up kind of doors and opportunities. I think over the last handful of years, you've really started to, and just kind of paying attention to the scene that's coming out of upstate New York, you really start to see the difference between those communities. Yourself, how would you end up describing, I guess, like Buffalo hip hop and Rochester and kind of that upstate New York hip hop sound, and what you guys are really about to people in kind of New York City?
Oh man,
I would say you go ahead.
We kind of, because I feel like, and this is my opinion of it, and it's gonna be different for other people. But I feel like we got trapped in like a time capsule up here. Like everything that happens in New York City, it happens fast, and then it might trickle upstate. But then being from upstate, you also got Canada right there. Yeah. And then you got the Midwest right under you. So you got Ohio, you know what I'm saying? So our being upstate, like you're kind of meshed in between what's popping and like everybody that's kind of catching on. And then Midwest got their own thing. So our sound is kind of like it's sat here. Like I said, when we got into the hip hop, the scene in Buffalo was boom bap. It was Griselda type sound. We've been doing that for years. Yeah, like that's a Buffalo thing. I would say even upstate, like boom bap has been a thing up here for a while. So it's in us at this point. You know what I mean? Like we have a lot of our populations, like you said, come from the Rust Belt, generations where people working in factories and blue collar cities. So like it's just like the work hard, get it out the mud mentality, and it comes out in the sounds.
100%.
He hit it on the head. I ain't got nothing to say.
Again, for those listening at home, we're talking to here TONEYBOI and GAINE. They have a fresh new project out right now called Project 77. Tell me what you guys have kind of cooking in the works to be either put out at the end of this year or this year, early kind of next year. What do you guys have in the bag?
Oh, man, we got 2 more coming to you back to back. So like the plan with 77 is a rollout of three projects. 77 got the name 77 because both our birthdays are on the 7th for the respective month. So it's not like that, and then like 88. That's a good year. So we figured we'll name it 88. 8 tracks that's coming out on August 8th. Leading single, we ain't pick it yet, but I'm probably thinking it's gonna be the Conway joint. So it's 88, then 99, and I know G working on his the live cut of Native Son as well. So go ahead, G.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The series of the 3, and then I also got some works, a project coming out with my brother Skate Cobain. He helps me form the group you guys may know as Ooze Gang, and us two together we have a project coming out called Last Time Being Bad Guys, and some of the same sounds, but you're gonna get a different different side of it. You know, like my brother Tony, he runs his own label, art dealer, and we developed our own business as well called Slime Shack Records. So, you know, it's just umbrellas that we even created the umbrellas for ourselves, and just able to just connect, do music with each other, do music amongst ourselves. He got his solo project, I got mine. It's just a big ass conglomerate of artists and creatives, and we just really make it work, you know. Yes.
And I'm excited for all the new material that you guys have coming out. I'm a new fan myself, but listening to something like Project 77 or even your solo joint, Native Son, again, just that's my cup of tea. That's what I listen to on a regular basis, and it's the type of shit that I gravitate towards. And you guys are coming with like a quality standard that is up to par with kind of the best of the best that are in this game. So I appreciate you guys even just making this music, let alone talking to me here and taking your time out of your day. So thank you.
I think also we're trying to like, we wanted to be upstate and everything, but like I said, we're two black dudes with degrees as well. So like it has to be, you know, our music tries to be smart. Our music is educated. So like if you listen enough, that there's some smart shit said in both of our rhymes.
Yeah, I try to
foundations.
I look at myself as a teacher within this, and not just a teacher of, oh, I'm gonna show you how to get a bag, or I'm gonna show you how to get the money, I'm gonna show you how to hustle. Nah, it's more like I'm gonna show you how to be a man. I'm gonna show you how to be a father. I'm gonna show you how to be a son. I'm gonna show you how to be a friend, a brother. You know what I'm saying? And really how to maintain your relationships as an artist or as whatever you're doing, like, and just staying connected and grounded in who you are. You know what I mean? Just self-knowledge, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, 100%. We're gonna rap a little bit of everything, but what you take from it is those things, those key components. It's like, you know what I mean? Just knowledge of self. You know what I mean? Knowledge of others. Knowledge that we don't really tap into. You know what I'm saying? With a lot of people out here lost. I ain't gonna hold you. The world's a little crazy, so everybody needs a little bit of this. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a song you like, or you gotta like all my music, but I know I got a song that's for you. You know what I mean?
100%. Where can people find you? Where can people stay up to date with the current music that you guys have coming out yourselves personally? Social media wise.
We got our individual band camps. You can find 77 on TONEYBOI.bandcamp. You can find Native Son at gaines.bandcamp. And then all of those projects that we do put on Bandcamp, they eventually end up on streaming platforms. So, you can find us there. And then if you just come to the city, ask around, pull up to any of our spots. We here, you know what I'm saying? They ain't,
anybody that likes rapping Buffalo and asks about one of us too, you're good.
Anybody you know from here probably will know something. They don't know me, they know somebody I work with. You know what I'm saying? Just connected, so.
Oh, man. Again, I can't thank you guys enough for taking the time out to speak to me here today. I'd love to have you guys back on in the future whenever new material does end up surfacing. We can kind of go through that with a little bit more depth. But again, thank you guys, and we'll definitely end up staying in touch.
No doubt. I got to get together once we drop all three of them together. So we had a 77, 88, and 99.
100%. I'm right here, man. 100%. Before I get you guys to go, am I able to get you guys to do a radio drop for the program? Something simple like, yo, this is so-and-so, and you're listening to Breaking Records Radio.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be dope. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Yo, it's your boy Gaines. You listen to Breaking Records Radio right now. Appreciate y'all having me. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Perfect.
Yo, this is TONEYBOI, a.k.a. the blunt guy. You locked in with Breaking Records Radio. Believe that.
Oh, man. Thank you guys so much. Again, we'll definitely end up staying in touch, and I'd love to do another one of these again in the future.
No doubt, man.
Thanks for having us, man.
Perfect. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And as always, you know what I say, peace, love, and respect. It's hip-hop, bro.
Yes, sir.
I got the Midas touch, everything I hold a touch combust to gold dust. You see me as a threat, but you don't need to sweat, cause your girl know I keep her wetter than a Chia pet. Ain't nobody give a fuck when you're doing bad. Motherfuckers wanna hate when you're doing good. Hoping that this feeling feeling doesn't stay. Getting drunk every day, waiting till it goes the fuck away. Then I wake up to another day just to face reality again. Cause the buzz of pain doesn't change a fucking thing. Nothing comes next, I wonder what's next. I used to be atheist, but now I just say fuck it, I'm blessed. Fuck it, I'm blessed.
They say it's easier said than done, so I'm working till I get it done.